The time is 11:57. I see that there are a few people here already. Excellent. Thank you. While we have a few minutes, I'll remind you to grab your gear, blocks, mat, and strap if you have it. If you don't, we'll live. If you have all your gear together, just kind of sit and chill. Think about something from today that bothered you, that you couldn't control. I'm about an hour off of work. I had a long work day today, and it went well for the most part. But there's so many things that I couldn't control, and I got frustrated. And I'm sure you know how it feels to not be in control. No bueno. And isn't that what causes a lot of our problems? I know it causes a lot of my problems. Anytime that I can't control an outcome, or I can't make a person think the way that I want to, or I have unrealistic expectations, that's when a lot of the hurt and stress comes from. Me, I like to sit on my block. It keeps my hips above my knees and gives a little bit more support to my back. 1 minute. Oh boy. A few other folks are with me. Excellent. I can't tell who you are, but thank you very much. Some of you are about to begin a new work week. Some of you, like me, are just finishing a work week. I work Wednesdays through Sundays. So by the end of my Sunday work day, I'm pretty wrung out. I'm tired. I'm old. I've mentioned this, right? So this will either be a great way to refresh yourself before you battle the week ahead, or it'll be a way to reclaim some of your self-control and sanity before we start on our days off. So today's theme is about the limits of your body. Not about how far you could run or how fast you could run or how much you could lift, but the area of control. This meat suit has thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of sensory receptors in it. So anytime you do this, you could feel it. And sometimes it's difficult to remember that you can't control anything that's out here, or even within a millimeter of your skin. You can't really control that. You might be able to push it away, but you can't mentally force it to do something. All you've got is this. All you have are your physical actions and your memories and your behaviors. That's all you got. So today, while we're doing our movement, I want you to remember those things. We're going to start by listening and breathing. Don't worry about the pattern of your breath. Don't worry about breathing too deeply or too quickly. Just breathe naturally. As you're sitting where you're at, I want you to listen. I want you to listen to the world outside of you. Not in your space, not in your room, maybe not even your home, but can you hear anything outside of you? I can hear some traffic on Highway 880. It's about a mile away, but at night, the sound travels. Yep, I hear a car, and I hear a helicopter. Okay. I hear those things. I can't control them. They aren't a problem for me, and they're not going to interfere with my world. So these sounds come in, I say hello to them, and I let them go. What about in your space? Do you have any sounds in your space? In my space, I hear a clock ticking. I hear my stove cooling down because we cooked something earlier. The fans aren't on, no music, just the clock and the stove. So I hear those sounds, I say hello to them, and I let them go. They're not a threat or a problem. The clocks are going to tick. The stove's turned off, nothing to do. Just acknowledgement and let it pass. Now, what about inside your meat suit? What about in here? As you're sitting, what do you feel? Which tensions do you feel? Start at your head. I'm good in my head, no stress in my neck, no headache. My sternum is up, so I'm letting gravity hang my shoulders down, no pain. It was a long work week, so I have some soreness in my back. No pain, just I could feel it, I notice it. My hips are good. My knees are good. What about you? Do you feel anything that shouldn't be there? Do you recognize anything that's not a problem, but present? Something sore or tight? Move a little bit. No problem. That's the limits of your physical control. With yoga, again, I mentioned this last week, yoga is a lot of things, but at very bare minimum, for me and our purposes, I consider yoga to be the mindful linking of breath and movement. And there's two examples of this, where we inhale and exhale with a movement, such as inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. That's successful yoga right there. The second type that I like is where we use our breath as a tool to get further stretch while we're already in a movement. For example, breathe in and out and hold this position and continue breathing in. And as we exhale, we use that breath to get more extension, more twist in this case. Inhale. Exhale. More stretch, more twist. Inhale back to center. That's just an example. That's two types of movement, linking breath and movement. And in all the things that we do tonight, and pretty much everything that I'm ever going to do in a yoga course has to do with those two very basic foundations. Breathe in, move, breathe out. Breathe in, hold it, breathe out. Breathe in, stretch some more. It's pretty simple. I've said before and I'll say again, if you're here for extraordinarily energetic yoga or body shredding or handstands, we're not going to do any of that. It's midnight, for goodness sakes. Calm down. Everything will be okay. We're here to recapture 40, 50 minutes of quietude, of reminders of our own strength. That's all we're doing here. Nothing fancy. So, any questions? Good. Let's begin. Simple movement. Simple movement. Shake out those hands. And for this first movement, which you've already seen, I want you to remember to keep your sternum up and your thumbs and shoulders essentially rotated to the rear. You could keep your hands palm to the ground, but keep those shoulders back. Don't shrug. Rotate them outward. And we're just going to breathe. Are you ready? And hold it. And exhale. 2 more. If your pace is different than mine, that's okay. Just do 3 breaths. I don't think the microphone's picking it up, but my shoulders are popping. I can hear it. We're going to start the same way, then we're going to turn into a twist. Are we ready? Here we go. Inhale. Exhale. Left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. Get that right shoulder as far to the rear as possible and hold it, but breathe. Three breaths total. And then inhale up, back down. One more time back up, and we're going to do the other side. Exhale, right hand, left knee. Sternum up, shoulders out, chin to the rear. Use this hand to push you back a little bit. And inhale. Exhale, get a little bit more stretch. One more time, inhale. Exhale, get a little bit more stretch. And up again. Cool, huh? Where's your mind at? Are you thinking about all those problems from work still? Or were you able to escape for a minute? I didn't once think about my staffing issues or my sales to labor ratios. I didn't think about any of those things. That's pretty cool. We're going to continue stretching this stuff up here. So right ear to right shoulder. And if you do left ear, that's fine. Just do the other side when I say the other side. So right ear to right shoulder, but keep in your mind your sternum needs to stay up and your shoulders externally rotated. So inhale, exhale, ear to shoulder, and just let it sit there and take 3 good breaths. Inhale back to center. Exhale to this side. Sternum up, shoulders back, ear to shoulder. All right. Right where you're at, if you can, I want you to do a cheating forward hanging fold. And when I say cheating, there's no cheating in yoga, which means do whatever you need to do. So just kind of bend forward. If you need or if you wish, use your palms to support your weight, but just slowly walk your way out. Get a good stretch in your lower and mid back. Find a point where there's some stress and tension in your body, and then just hold it. And just breathe through it. If you can, put your chin to your chest, do so. Right, huh? Not bad. Help me out here. Make sure your pelvis is rotated forward. Your sternum is up. Get some nice breaths. And put your hands out in front of you. Fingertips up, palms facing away. Try to, you won't be able to, but try to get your fingertips on top of your forearms. You know what I mean. Try to bend them back. Get as much of a stretch there as you can. And then inhale and press it out. You should feel a good stretch in the fingers and the back of your hands. Keep on breathing. The top of your forearms and in your side body, in your ribs. So just push it out further. Last time. Not bad. We're still seating on our block here. If you need to, switch position a little bit. I always feel funny this way. It's never the same. Whatever. Sternum up, shoulders back, hands up. And for you military members, parade rest. Seated parade rest. Pelvis rotated rearward, sternum up, shoulders back, head held high. And just breathe through it a little bit. Me, I've had minor shoulder injuries in both sides, so I don't quite have symmetry in my discomfort right now. But they both feel good. It's the good kind of physical stress. Play around with position a little bit. One more breath. Okay. Let us roll to our knees. Roll gracefully or not gracefully, whichever. Here's where you're really going to see my Buddha-esque physique, and that's okay. So, get your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, feet and toes together, and just kind of shake it out a little bit. I am on my feet a lot, so my lower back is sore, so it's okay for me to do a few extra movements before we go into cat-cow. And I don't know if I've told you this, but I used to have an instructor that would actually meow or moo, depending on the position. Instead of saying the cue, she would meow or moo. Weirdest thing ever. I won't do that. And let's begin with the kitty cat. Push away from the ground. Arch your back. Bring your hips forward. Arch that spine. And then inhale to cow. Do the total opposite. Drop your chest. Pivot your hips to the rear. Moo. And then back to cat. Push away again. Bring those hips forward. Exhale. One more round. Back to cow. Rotate those hips. Drop your chest. Shake your hips from side to side if you wish to get a little extra zhuzh. Inhale to cat. And back to cow. And at the end of that breath, just go into a neutral position. Shake it out if you need. But then, get those toes nice together. Knees at the edge of the mat. And we're going to go into a child's pose. And there are several ways to do this. The easiest way, and don't feel bad about doing it the easiest way, is to get down on your forearms, throw those hips way far back, and just kind of sink your chest and face to the mat. Doesn't have to touch, but this will get you a nice long stretch here. If you're a little bit more advanced and want more of a stretch, get off your forearms, put those palms as far out as you can, and get a nice stretch. Put the hands forward and your hips back at the same time. And just sit there and breathe. With every exhalation, try to get a little bit more stretch. And then take your right hand and then walk it over to the left. And that right hip, push it further back. And you're going to get a great stretch on your right side. And just breathe through it. One more. And then back to center. And then whichever side you did that time, do the other side. Walk that left hand to the right hand. Put your right hip back. And you're going to get a great stretch here. And just breathe through it. And then relax. Get back into a tabletop position. And then, how do you feel? How's your body treating you? Your body saying anything to you? We are not going to do a shoulder stretch that I normally throw in here because I don't feel like it, and that's okay. What we are going to do is probably the most physically challenging portion of our evening. Curl your toes under, plant those hands, take your hips, throw them back, and we're going to go into a down dog. Any position or any form or any quality level of down dog that you wish to do is okay. Rock from side to side. Walk the dog, as the kids say. Stretch the other way. This feels so good. Ugh. Back into down dog. And just hold it and breathe through it. If you need to drop to your knees, that's okay. Get back into child's pose. That's okay. But then we need to work ourselves into a standing position from down dog. Walk those hands up. And before we stand, get into a squat. How are you doing here? How's your squat? Westerners are not great at the squat. You go to any less developed country, Africa, parts of Asia, you're gonna find folks that feel that this is the most natural position. And honestly, for apes like we are, it is. But somehow our Western civilization unteaches this. Some folks can have their heels down and squat. I sort of can, but I need help. So I'm going to leave my heels up. While we're here, plant your hands. Now put your heels to the ground. We're not going to do a crow. I just want you to have support as you stretch this a little bit more. And then breathe through it. And then at your leisure, come on up. Stand up one vertebrae at a time. Slowly. 1. I feel like an inch taller. I feel an inch taller. You know what? I'm not going to fix the camera. You just deal with it. We're not going to do much up here. Mainly we're going to be, all right, I'll shift my camera. Sorry. You just wanted to see the t-shirt more. I think this is the most powerful pose in yoga, mountain pose. Feet together, or if you need stability, a few inches apart. All 10 toes grabbing into the earth. Weight on the heel, way down. Hips rotated forward, sternum up, shoulders back. Looks easy, doesn't it? It's not really. Take your thumbs and get them as far back as possible, bringing your shoulders with them, bringing your sternum up. Lean back a little bit, and then let gravity help you a little bit. You'll feel some stretching here, and breathe. Bend the knees if you need. And then back into a true mountain. Think about how strong this is. Somebody pushing you from the various sides. And if you keep your hips in a good center position, and you keep a firm hold on the ground with all 10 toes and your heels, it's going to be hard to push you. You're a mountain. Great name for this pose, huh? And just relax. How do you feel? Check in with your body. Does your left side feel different than your right side? Is that because of an injury? Or did we not stretch something? Or just think about it. Think about it for the next time we're in a class together. We're going to go from mountain to a tree pose. And we could make this tree pose more difficult, but we're going to keep this nice and simple. We're going to keep this to the easiest level of tree pose. So get your feet about hips width apart. Pelvis forward, sternum up, shoulders back. Put all your weight into your left foot. Lean onto that side. And then with your right side, just bring that heel in and your toes down on the ground. A kickstart. I'll bet many of you, most of you, could do this more difficultly. Is that even English? You know what I mean. You could put your foot on your calf or on your inner thigh. And if you really want to, fine, but we're trying to relax here. Just find some balance. You're going to have some tension in your left foot and your left calf, of course. But just breathe through it. As you put your arms wide or twist them, feel how your center of gravity wants to change, or feel how one side of your body tightens up. Boy, this was a long work week. And there you caught me, failing at yoga. I thought about work. And that's okay. We know about meditation, right? About how successful meditation is not about being thoughtless for 10, 30, 60 minutes. It's about being thoughtless for the briefest of moments and then failing, but recognizing that and bringing it back. Like, Oh boy, my work week. Okay, recognition, bring it back. The more you fail at yoga and meditation, the more you'll succeed. So you just fail all you need. Other side, get that right foot planted. Sternum up, shoulders back, pelvis forward. Left toes on the ground and left heel on the right leg. Add a little difficulty. Feel how your body reacts to that, how your center of gravity moves. Put your hands behind your head maybe and twist. And if you feel unsafe, take your foot down, but try these different things and feel how the different parts of your body react. I'm feeling pretty good. Where am I at? We're going to do a few more stretches, not a full sun salutation, just some slow half sun salutations. And we're going to cheat. And by cheat, I mean there's no cheat. Normally, start in a mountain. Don't start there. Get those feet wide. Relax. Make it feel safe and stable. And bring those hands up. Inhale. Exhale to a hanging forward fold. And just get down there casually. Don't worry about how you get down there with form. Just get there. And just hang. Bend your knees as much as you need. Just let it hang. Put your fingertips underneath your toes. And then stretch your legs and get them shorter. This feels awesome to me. All over my side and my spine. Maybe grab your opposite elbows and hang. Twist. And then when you come up, one vertebrae at a time. All the way back up. Same thing, exhale. And put even less effort into this one. Just kind of hang there. Touch to support if you need. Me, I kind of want to do this. You may if you wish. Because this is a great stretch for my hammies and my back. And I'm just going to breathe through it. If you just want to hang here, that's okay. And then back up. Yeah. Where are we at? You'd think I'd have this memorized by now. I don't. Oh, well, heck, we're already flying by in our time. So, we're going to do something very simple. We're going to go back to a sumo squat, and then we're going to get back on the ground. So, from this wide-legged mountain, this very relaxed mountain pose, come up and down. But instead of a forward-hanging fold, just touch the ground to support yourself and get back into the sumo squat. If you could do it without hands, great. If you need to touch, great. And get your heels as close to the ground as you can, just for a stretch. Don't exert too much. Cheat if you need to. You know what I mean. And then breathe. Have I mentioned breathing before? I think so. Maybe once. And at your leisure, get back into a seated position. Not with the block yet. Have it ready. Hands to the side. Feet out in front of you. We're going to do a brief L sit. So sternum up, shoulders back, hips to the rear, pelvis to the rear, legs straight but not locked knees, toenails back at you, or toes pointing back at you. Try to be in as good of an L as you can. Some of us can't, and that's okay. I've got this, which interferes. Whatever. Then bring your right foot into your right knee, and we're going to twist again, just like we started off with. We're going to go up, and then twist, just like the beginning. But this should feel a little bit different. And hold it and breathe. Last one. And inhale. Switch. Exhale. And inhale. Where's your block? Do you have your block? You don't have to. I love my block. Put it on the shortest setting. And then sit all crisscross applesauce. Do people still say that? I'm sure there's a better word for it. Breathe with me. Don't do anything else. Don't worry about anything else. Think anything you want, but breathe with me. In, hold, out. Five of these at your own pace. Now, skip out the hold. We're just doing a 2-part breath, just in, out. Don't put a lot of effort into it, mild effort. And do that while I tell you a story. This is my favorite mind game, my favorite visualization. In, out. It's about butterflies and wildflowers, right? I know. I have a look to me that belies an affection for wildflowers and butterflies. Whatever. Army, cop, lumberjack, all that stuff. I love butterflies and wildflowers. In. Did you know that on the mountainside or the prairie, wildflowers, the same family of wildflowers, can live for generation after generation after generation after generation? They grow initially by seed, but primarily by root. Wild grasses and wildflowers grow by root. So cattle and elk can come graze them. Fire can come wipe them out. They can have drought that'll just wither them for years and years and years. But as long as the roots stay alive, those wildflowers will come back with just a little bit of rain and sunshine. Boop, they'll pop back no matter what has been done to them. Butterflies. How much does a butterfly weigh? Half a gram at most? So these little tiny, beautiful, painted beauties, some of them migrate just thousands of miles from the tropics, sometimes in Brazil, sometimes in the jungles of Mexico. And for instance, the monarch butterfly from Mexico comes up to central and northern California. Thousands of miles. This little half-gram insect flies for miles and miles. And it's not always the monarch, but a lot of butterflies do this. So you've got these wildflowers that breathe, come back year after year, no matter what. That's how powerful they are. And you've got these little half-gram insects that fly from thousands of miles away to feed on these flowers. So this little wisp of a nothing of a plant and this little wisp of a nothing of an insect will persevere and survive under circumstances much tougher than humans have to live through sometimes. But they make it. They manage it. I don't know how. So I kind of like the idea of being as strong as a wildflower or a butterfly. But when they meet, what happens when a butterfly lands on the flower? If it's cold or nervous, it'll flap its wings very quickly. But if it's warm and if it feels safe, just bear with me here. I know. Just roll with me. If the butterfly feels warm and safe, its wings are going to go nice and slowly. How do we control that butterfly? How do we make the butterfly happy? Here's your visualization exercise. Think of that beautiful little flower and that beautiful butterfly. Think of that butterfly and that flower and match your breath to the pace of the butterfly's wings. Do you want it to be really fast? That would not be a happy butterfly. I don't know what it takes to make a butterfly happy, but I have to think that's not a happy butterfly. I can't believe I'm saying this, but just roll with me. Breathe as if you are the butterfly's wings. The slower the butterfly's wings move, the warmer, safer, and happier that butterfly is. So I ask you, do you want a happy butterfly or do you want an unhappy butterfly? We all want happy butterflies. In. I go back to monarchs all the time. I love monarch butterflies. And I love cosmos. And there's a few types of wild daisies that I remember from Idaho that I really enjoyed. The butterflies up there were little smaller ones, but they were still pretty. But the same rule applied. So, what are you going to do to make your butterfly happy? Once again, let's listen to the outside world. Has anything changed in your outside world? My helicopter's gone. And I hear the traffic on Mission Boulevard now instead of on the freeway. Okay, noted. In, say hello, out. Inside, I hear my clock. Nothing else. Good. How do I feel? I feel good. My lower back feels much looser. I feel a little bit of sweat, so maybe I can tone down the class next time, but feels good. A little bit of discomfort in my lower back, but the good kind from stretching. Knees feel good, shoulders feel good. How do you feel? Do a quick check-in. Yeah. And that's yoga. We can't do anything about anything that's out here. We could push it, maybe we could call it bad names, but all we really control is this stuff and your butterfly. In these practices, I'm not going to do a shavasana, the final resting pose. I don't want you to go to sleep. Here, at least. I want you to go to sleep in bed. So do your resting pose in bed or reading a book or whatever you want to do. But I want you to know that I'm here for you for another 3 weeks. We're doing this midnight yoga. I thank the handful of folks that were watching live. I want to thank my friends that have said kind words to me about why I'm doing this. And I want to thank you for investing time and emotional energy and physical energy in joining me. I appreciate it. I value it. Last time, hands to heart center. Inhale. Let it go. And that's yoga.